Welcome to FantasyFran.com, Week 12 in review. We're doing it a little bit different this week because Fran, as many of you may have seen, is actually not in the office. He's actually up in New York doing a lot of work with a lot of our partners and a lot of the media up there. So continue to check back because he'll be on Fox, Fox Business, Sirius, and others. So be sure to check that out. But we wanted to make sure that we got back with you and talked a little bit about the Week 12 games because there were some really, really good games and really good storylines as well. And of course, we have to start with one of the top Thanksgiving games, Green Bay versus Detroit. Of course, Aaron Rodgers had another amazing day, but it started out a little shaky. Now, of course, the storyline of the game kind of became the Ndamukong Suh incident, okay? I like Ndamukong Suh. I think he's great for the league. He harkens back to the golden age of the real bad guy, the Dick Butkus, the Ray Nitschke, the Jack Lamberts. And for the last 15 to 20 years, we haven't really had that guy. Maybe Ray Lewis, but Ray Lewis is actually a good guy on the field. You know, he shakes hands after the game. He prays with everybody after the game. He's a good guy, but he's a hard hitter and a hard-nosed player. And Ndamukong Suh, he'll take your head off, and he'll be happy about it. And I like that because it's not a gentleman's game. Just it came down 2-game suspension for Ndamukong Suh. Is that justified? Absolutely. But remember, back when the Haynesworth situation came in a couple years ago, Haynesworth got a 5-game suspension. Granted, he stomped on the guy's head. But I think the call into Roger Goodell to apologize, along with him trying to get up and all this stuff, whatever he's talking about, I think that's the reason you're seeing the 2-game suspension versus the 5-game suspension. It's good for Detroit. They really need him if they're going to make a playoff push. But in this game, we really saw the Green Bay Packers distance themselves. They're starting to play defense, which is scary for other teams in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers, as always, phenomenal game. And for them to do what they did to Detroit in the Dome on one of the larger stages of the NFL season, the Thanksgiving game, was extremely impressive. And Green Bay is going to be difficult going forward. But Fran was actually on the Varney and Company show on Fox Business, and Varney said, "So Green Bay is going to win the Super Bowl, huh?" And he looked him dead in the face and he said, "No, they're not, because they're not going to play as good a defense and they can't run the ball." So we'll see what happens there. Now, we go over to the Denver-San Diego game. Everybody's talking about Tim Tebow. Here's the thing, folks. Denver is climbing. Their arrow is pointing up. And San Diego has really bottomed out. San Diego has a ton of talent, but Phillip Rivers, his struggles have been documented, leads the league in interceptions. They have all the talent at the tight end position with Antonio Gates, all the talent at the running back position with Ryan Matthews, and they just can't seem to get it done. They had a chance to win the game with a game-winning field goal, which Nick Novak missed, but you know what? It shouldn't even come to that. But this Denver team, they believe in each other. They're playing great football. They're getting behind Tim Tebow. And when I was talking to Fran today, he said, you know what? Tim Tebow's starting to throw the ball a little bit better. Now, a lot of people make a lot of stuff about Tim Tebow and his religion and Tebowing and all this kind of stuff. It's kind of fun. But you know what? There's a lot of other guys on that team who are very religious guys. And Brian Dawkins is one of them, hard-nosed player on defense. Heck, Willis McGahee has praying hands tattooed on the side of his neck. You get some guys that, believe and get together and really fight hard for each other. That's what you're seeing in Denver. And it's going to be interesting to see because they have a chance to win their division now. Now, we talked about the Chargers bottoming out. Speaking of bottoming out, my Philadelphia Eagles have hit rock bottom. Norv Turner probably is going to be gone in San Diego, and you know what? Hopefully Andy Reid and Juan Castillo will go by the wayside as well. I've been a huge Andy Reid fan, but it's time to go. Never been able to kind of get over the hump. We got great talent this year, but there's a lot of distractions. There's things you can't put your finger on, but things are wrong, and they need to be fixed. And the Eagles against the Patriots, it was clear that the Eagles were totally outmatched. We got our hopes up. They went up 10-0 early on. But the Patriots and Tom Brady really put on an exhibition. And Tom Brady really showed why he is one of the best, if not the best, of the last 10 years. For him to put on the exhibition that he put on and pick apart that Eagles defense, it really spoke wonders. And the thing that's scary is that the Patriots defense is starting to play a little bit now. So they're going to make a playoff push as well. And if they can play defense the way that they've played defense in their past during their Super Bowl pushes, they're going to be really, really dangerous. The New Orleans Giants game Monday night, wow. I mean, it was a great passing exhibition by both quarterbacks, don't get me wrong, but the New Orleans Saints really put on an exhibition. Over 500 total yards of offense. Drew Brees hitting everybody, including fans. I mean, he was hitting everybody that he could possibly find. Devery Henderson, Darren Sproles, Jimmy Graham. Lance Moore catches 2 touchdowns. Who are you going to cover? Pick your poison. And of course, Eli Manning, he continues to play better this year, protect the ball a little bit better, but Victor Cruz continues to emerge. Hakeem Nicks had a decent game. But the key is, the Giants, since Ahmad Bradshaw has gone out, has not been able to run the ball near as well with Brandon Jacobs, and we're seeing how that's affecting them. And I think the Giants are pretty much done. I think that they gave up the other night towards the end of the game, and they probably should have, but it's disappointing for Giants fans and fans of the NFC East. What we're going to do this Thursday when we go ahead and shoot and post all of our videos, picks, and projections, we're still going to go ahead and provide you all of the value that you've come to expect from FantasyFran.com. But what we're going to do is, since Fran's not going to be live here in the studio, we're going to bring you a special guest here in the studio to go ahead and give you all of Fran's picks and projections, analysis, everything that you're going to need to win your Week 13 games. And you'll hear it right here this weekend on FantasyFran.com. Thanks for joining us.